right. Peace. Shalom. In the name of Yahweh, in the name and authority of Yahshua Messiah, and under the direction of the Holy Spirit. now, now that basically I done got me some what they call rest and allowed myself to get back on track here. Nonetheless, we're going to be moving on to the realm of thought. The realm of thought as dealing with our minds and how to obtain mastery over our own mind via the mental slavery that a lot of us have to do the shadow work needed in order to break hold of the matrix programming. Now, what I am going to attempt, okay, because I'm using an author that I have been studying for years. I have recently just come back in touch with his work, and everything he taught me back a long time ago applies now. I was using it, but I was kind of a little bit what they call lukewarm in using what William Watkinson, was teaching, and he wrote these books like in the 1800s. So William Watkinson is basically the author here that I'm quoting from his book, and he gives a wonderful description here that I was using, but I was using it in a lukewarm fashion. Meaning that at the time I had read it, I was not skeptical, but I wasn't diligent in wanting to apply what he was teaching about how the brain has to be mastered. Now, like I say, I took it with a grain of salt. I didn't dismiss it as it was not being a truth, but I didn't need to apply it. Now, being over the course of events that I've been going through, excuse me, confirmation, the course of events that I've been going through, everything that he was teaching me back then has now came to resurface as much more relevant than it did when I first discovered it. So I'm going to read from one of his works, The Master of the Mind. And I'm going to read a quick brief work because this video is probably going to have to be broken into two, if not possibly three segments, because right now I'm already almost on the 4th minute. But here in his here in this particular paragraph, he writes mind mastery, and he defines it: mind mastery versus mind slavery. Okay, because getting to spirituality is being able to first learn how to hack. And I do mean like a computer hacker. Hack the program that you have been sitting inside of. Because if you can't never hack it, then you can't never pierce the veil for yourself enough to be able to take down what your spirit guides are trying to download to you and actually start to do the work that you need. But before they can ever reach you, there's a lot of what they call battles within yourself that have to emerge first prior to you being able to get on the plane to where you can actually give command to the mind and or take control and responsibility over the mind, which means taking the program that had been in the driver's seat of the conscious mind all right, which is basically what's known as the male, the masculine, all right, and reprogramming it so that it can better navigate for the subconsciousness, which is what? The feminine. Because spirit always aligns with feminine. That's why the Holy Spirit is a feminine spirit. It's a nurturing, educating, teaching spirit. It comes from the Most High. Yes, it comes from Source, but the Holy Spirit is a mother nurturing type of spirit. All right, that always comes from the back of our minds. So let me go ahead and start reading before I get ready to start my next video. Okay. All right. It says mind mastery versus mind slavery. But you may say, what do you mean by the mind master? What is the difference between mastermind and any other form of mind? Simply this, good readers, that the mastermind is consciously, deliberately, and voluntarily built up, cultivated, developed, and used, whereas the ordinary mind is usually unconsciously built up, developed, and used, whereas the ordinary mind is usually, I just repeated that, excuse me, is usually unconsciously, where the ordinary mind is unconsciously built up, cultivated, and developed without voluntary effort on its own part, but solely by the force and the power of impressions from the outside world, and is usually employed and used with little or no conscious direction by its own will. In short, the ordinary mind is a mere creature of circumstances, driven hither and thither by the winds of outside forces and lacking the guidance of the hand on the wheel and being without the compass of knowledge, while the master mind proceeds in the true course map out by intelligence and determined by will, with sails set so as to catch the best breeze from the outside world, and steered by the master hand at the wheel under the direction of the compass of intelligence. The ordinary mind is like a dumb, driven animal, while the mastermind is the strong-willed, intelligent, masterful man slash and or woman. All right. Now, I'm gonna pause right here just caveat. I had just mentioned this here previously, that a lot of us has placed faith in the program because we believe that what the mind directs us to do is the best course of action. All right. Now, before I go to reading, which will probably have to be in the next part of the video because there's a couple more paragraphs I want to get in. The mind cannot be trusted until it is cultivated correctly. All right. Meaning there can be no autopilot. As long the matrix that you live in right now, you're on autopilot. So it's like whatever comes to your mind, you just whatever, I'm gonna do it. You don't check. There's no checking balances. There's no second guesses as to where the thought come from, why you're being drawn to it, how you don't even know. Somebody could be actually what we've been discussing on. Somebody could be using energy to manipulate your mind, and you following the first thing that comes to your mind always, all right, without just giving it a second glance, can sometimes be the misleading principle in following the program, which a lot of times as you become enlightened and you learn to deal with your lower self, you come to find out that when you start to become enlightened and you break free from the program, all hell breaks loose and family becomes enemies as well as friends become enemies. But I have to stay tuned, part 2.